Welcome back to Heaven's Vault. We were just teleported across the universe by an upside-down god of some kind who claimed to be Heaven's Vault and who also claimed to be at the center of the streams or the source of the streams or something. So we're trying to figure out how we got here and how this worked out, and we're also recovering from our near-death experience. And, of course, we have a problem where we don't have our ship. It looks like we're going to go down to Tappy, mostly on autopilot. I don't have any control here. Tappy's bar is a good place to get some liquor. That's what you get for baking your shadows. Alright, so we can either go to Tappy, or we could probably go somewhere else, but I think Tappy is a fine choice. As usual, I'm not too happy to be back here. I keep delaying it as much as possible, but there are plenty of events in this game which drive us back to Elboreth. The only reason I don't like Elboreth is because it takes such a long time to walk anywhere. Oh well, at least he's not dead. That's a weird facial expression. Is that her friendly smile? I always come back. That's definitely true. Well, it looks like he doesn't... he's not suffering at Timor's hand, which was our main problem. Even if he was... Yeah. Obviously, in this kind of environment, the orphans are never going to be... too kindly treated. We got lucky with ours. Ifarali. Alright. It means that I can get off of this rock. Already did that. Hey, Timor, I'm back. I ain't got no robot. Oh, I don't have anything to pay my tab with. I'm actually not only out of coins, I'm also out of artifacts. All I've got are the super expensive ones. So we've got a conversation with an NPC, and as I said, I've been downplaying the NPCs just because the conversations don't work well in Let's Plays. Timor, well, all of the NPCs are interesting. They're all a little bit crooked, and it is, they're all struggling in this world. And it's fun to uncover their stories, but they don't flow quite as well as I'd like. We can talk more about the kinds of tricks you can use to make conversations flow better some other time maybe, or maybe now, whenever I feel like it. It's a lot to do with secondary characteristics rather than the conversations themselves. Things like blocking and noise, stuff like that, camera motions. All of these things are important, and it's something where we're not going to be able to get a lot of those out of this particular environment just because the game engine isn't built to actually allow them. It's not great. If I were going to make a game that was going to be similar to this, what I would do is I would completely throw away this conversation style and go with a completely different manner, just so that I could focus on giving the conversations enough power that you want to have them instead of just kind of enduring them. And I think a big part of that it would be okay. I think a big part of that would be a combination of things. At the beginning, I actually commented how they did a couple of things right. One of the things they did right was they pop up little things in the corner when you learn something, which summarizes the conversation for the player and lets the player know that they and the character are on the same, on the same wavelength. Hasn't happened recently. Apparently, they decided not to do that for very many things. So this is not similar to very many of the things that we've gone before. So Pilgrim and something. I said this was death because it had an X in it and stuff like that, but it must be stranger. You think? But this one might be peace related. Precise stranger, Pilgrim and Gate stranger. I don't know what the heck this is. We'll say Gate. Holy Pilgrim and the Gate stranger. Timor is loading us down with some more toys since we sold all of our toys, and that means that the game knows we're running low. And that is something with the game. The game automatically tries to keep us topped up. So now that I've sold all of our stuff, we get more new toys.
I had my first taste of Roku when I was 8. I didn't pay for it that time either.
Maybe in the next playthrough we'll be much more sociable. But in this playthrough, we focused mostly on trying to uncover the mysteries of the ancient world, and we haven't done any of the mysteries of the current one, which is kind of a shame because in order for the ancient mysteries to have weight, to have punch, we have to have some connection to our current life. People that want to do things and have things and see things. We are just kind of making conversation, catching up, making sure that the kid we dropped off wasn't a horrible, horrible mistake. I was a little worried because we told, what's-his-face, the much skeevier guy who sells antiques. I told him about this kid. I was worried that that meant the kid was going to get, kidnapped. He was going to vanish mysteriously. Now he wants to know where this Emperor's garden was. I have no problem giving away the Emperor's garden. Go ahead, steal all that water, because that water is useless to the Emperor. The Emperor is dead. Also, I don't believe that the Emperor's garden has anything terribly valuable in it. So we found 6 gods, and we're trying to get him to tell us who the 7th is. I would really like to know. So he's saying that he doesn't actually know it, but 6 and 1. 6 gods and then 1 more something? Super god? We'll find out, I'm sure. Do you think the Heaven's Gate god is the 1 in question? It's not about the things. It really is about the things, but it's not about cleaning them up. There we are. That's what it's about. Now he's probably going to bring up the loop, isn't he? All right, well, thanks for the conversation, Timur. You're not nearly as scuzzy this playthrough. The exact behavior of the characters changes from playthrough to playthrough sometimes. And sometimes it's just your internal, what you think of them, kind of poisoning your opinions, you know? What? How the hell did the robot track us down? How did the Elboreth gate tell you anything? You are on the other side of the galaxy. Oh. So the gates think that the robots are the masters. So we got the option to say don't hassle me, which means that we're done here, but I'm not sure that's true. I think that we should check on Arroy before we go. I have a sneaking suspicion that she may have something for us. But that might not be true because that don't hassle me sign usually means there's nothing going on, but we'll check. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to visit Timur. I think that's the name of the other guy. I can never remember which one's which. Of course, that's assuming we can get through the gate. It doesn't seem to like us very much. So we know Ifarali, which is the one that will take us to the abandoned playhouse. And then this one, which is the one I chose, should just take us upstairs. I don't think I want to go to the abandoned playhouse right now. I'm not sure if it would actually take us there or not. But, yeah. And that's not really a good place for us to go without a ship. Let's walk past the slave merchant, see whether or not the slave merchant's got anything to do. We're not going to talk to her, but she may accost us. Why do you think she's saying that? So one of the problems that we got with this kind of very purple prosy sort of situation, there's a very large disconnect between the player and the player character in games like these, which is fine. That's a sort of game. That's definitely an experience that you can enjoy. But the problem is that oftentimes that disconnect comes and goes in terms of what we think about it. It feels a little strange when she just pops up with kind of an out of left field opinion, and we're like, really? still, it's not ruining the game or anything. It's just that if you're going to establish something like that... Oh. If you're going to establish something like that, you have to make sure that you get the contexts flowing. Ooh. Neat. Alright, we'll take it back then. You want to tell me what it said? Thank you. So the crown might be... Oh, she fried it. The Withering Palace is one of the places we've been. It was the one that turns people into robots. No, I'm not trying to sell it to you. No. We're doing an Arroy-only run. Let's sell Arroy absolutely everything. I really want you to help me. Oh, that was probably the wrong thing to say. Come on, come with us. Yeah, there we are. That's what I wanted. Let's ditch this place. It's okay that we don't get to talk to Tappy. We don't really need to tell him anything. And we're going to go back to the Withering Palace. Now this is the sort of adventure that gets my blood pumping. This is what I like when we are going someplace in this kind of game, because the Withering Palace itself only has so much draw. But once we get someone with us who wants to see it, who we've convinced to see it, now there's a lot of stakes there. And it's not like, oh, the world will end if we don't go. It's like, no, my buddy wants to go there with me. So that's where we'll go in the next episode.